So now we start the teaching on the Guru Yoga preliminary. So just let you know, actually there are three kinds of preliminaries. The first is for very beginners, and it helps people to prepare to meditate with your body, speech, and mind. It is correcting your posture, correcting by exhaling the still breath, and correcting your motivation. This is for anyone who wants to meditate. For the beginner. And the second preliminary is outer preliminaries, right? So these are called the four thoughts that train the mind, that change the mind. So these four thoughts are the precious of human life, impermanence of life, the principle of cause and effect, and the defects of samsara and benefit of nirvana. This we call the outer preliminaries. The first is the beginning, for beginner preliminaries, and then outer preliminaries, and then the third, inner preliminaries. That means in order to practice, you must have to practice this first. I mean, preliminaries means, that's why it's called preliminary. Bapta Rinpoche tells us that preliminary in Tibet, Hundo is the foundation of all Vajrayana practice, and therefore even more important than the so-called main practice, Vajrasattva Mandala offering and Guru Yoga are all Vajrayana methods, right? While taking refuge and arousing bodhicitta are usually categorized the Sharvaka, the Hinayana, and bodhisattva, the Mahayana practice. But each practice is equally important according to Buddhism, because Hondo, the preliminary, brings together the essence of all practice, contains everything that we as practitioners need to work with, and all that is necessary on the spiritual path. For example, taking refuge is the first of the preliminary, on the inner preliminary. The first is taking refuge practice, which is the foundation, right? Foundation of all Buddhist paths. And its purpose is to divert us from the wrong path and onto the right path. Taking refuge. Once safely on the right path, we then direct ourselves from the lesser path to great path by arousing bodhicitta, which is the embodiment of the entire bodhisattva path. This is the second preliminary. This order, the preliminary, the inner preliminary, outer preliminary, just amazing packet, it's amazing. Everything is there and very convenient, very simple practice. And then negative actions in our life and all problems that we have, it's because our negative afflictions. So we have to purify them through Vajrasattva practice. This is fourth preliminary. What?
Third.
Third.
Preliminary.
Third preliminary. You're right. Refuge and bodhicitta and bodhisattva. Thank you. It's third preliminary.
It's what? Vajrasattva.
Bodhisattva. And also we practice offering mandala, because in order to accumulate goodness and wisdom, this is the fourth preliminary. Am I right? And finally, the fifth, Guru Yoga. It's because the only way to achieve liberation quickly is to realize the nature mind. And such a realization can only be accomplished by mind itself. That's why mind itself, intangible, like an empty space, and can only engage in any activity. Whether leading to samsara or nirvana through the medium, of the body. Even in the bardo, the intermediate state, we have a sort of dream-like body, which allows us to experience the different stages of passage, from on existence to the next. So that's why we have practiced the preliminaries. Understand? Is it clear? Preliminaries. People sometimes ask, I want to become a Buddhist, what should I do? Taking refuge vow. That's between, different between Buddhist and non-Buddhist. You practice whatever you practice without refuge vow, you are not Buddhist. And in order to take refuge vows, we have to understand about Buddhism, little bit, investigate. Teaching, Buddha's teaching. And I'm sure you like it. And if you don't like, that's fine. Then don't take refuge vow. If you like, why not? Then follow Buddhism and practice Buddha's teaching. It's 100% definitely your choice. You don't have to follow your parents. You don't have to follow your friends. Whatever your feels, you have to choose that. You have to find the right path. Or my parents, something. People say, oh, my parents Buddhist, so I don't like Buddhism, but I have to. That's not the reason, right? That's not a good idea. You have to understand at least the fundamental teachings of Buddha. Understand. Learning that, and then it makes sense. Why not become a Buddhist? Practice, taking care of your life. If you have a spiritual, the meditation practice in your life, and then you have a good job, then really you have everything perfect. Perfect actually impossible, right? But I will say, then all right. There's nothing perfect, I think. There's nothing, but we have that word, perfect. We do have that word. He is perfect. No. Sometimes good, sometimes not good. But if you practice preliminaries, makes you really perfect. Perfect means without negative what? Negative emotions, afflictions. Then you are perfect. Buddha is perfect. Even bodhisattvas are not perfect yet. Buddha is perfect. So in ordinary life, there is no perfect. So practice preliminaries, nature mind, recognize Guru Yoga, practice Guru Yoga, and then you understand the nature of everything, nature of all phenomena, and interdependent origination with the emptiness, the relative truth, ultimate truth, absolute bodhicitta, relative truth, all this union, and you understand that, you stay there forever, then you are perfect. Now we can do that. We can do that because we have that capacity. You have to trust yourself. And I can do this. I can. So that's preliminaries. So when you become a Buddhist, there is no way you practice something. You need to start preliminaries, practice preliminaries.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So when you were talking about the fifth preliminary, Guru Yoga, you said that only the nature of mind can recognize the nature of mind. And then you talked about it as empty space and intangible. And then you said that only empty space can engage in any activity via the body. And when you said the word body, do you mean the three kayas included in your idea of body, or did you just mean the physical body?
Physical body.
Only the physical body.
I mean, for instance, in intermediate states, you have no physical body. You have a sort of light body. I mean, it's not really physical body. Yes. Okay, now we here I'm going to we just talked about the first branch, offering, right? The prostration. Now I'm going to explain you the second branch. Which one is in our Yalu booklets? Can you say that for me? The second branch?
And offer Samanthabhadra, apparent existence, the manifest realm.
It is the offering branch. Okay. So which is the antidote, offering branch, which is the antidote to attachment and stinginess. Offering. So when in Buddhism we make offerings to the Buddha, right? Buddha and bodhisattvas. So these offerings are usually things like, incense, food, water, butter lamps, candles and flowers, and so on and so forth. So whatever offerings you can actually offer should be sort of clearly sort of arranged, in the preliminary, the offering is done with a mandala offering, right? Mandala is kind of offering. So visualize that you are offering all of the wealth in the universe that is not owned by anyone. You can accumulate just as much merit by offering all of these things as you would if they were sort of your own possessions. So if you have the power to offer, the Buddhas, the bodhisattvas have the power to accept. Whatever enjoyable things are available in this world, whatever you and others have, and whatever you see, whatever you hear, let your first thoughts always be to offer it to the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, okay? Mentally take whatever you find beautiful as you pass by, offering it to the Buddhas and three jewels, whatever. And you do need to have the thing that you have nothing to offer. Sometimes people say, I can't practice offering. I don't have anything. That's not true. When you practice offering, visualize so many of rises of sort of different colors from your heart. on the tip of each of these rays, these rays visualize so many different offerings, okay, like flowers, music, incense, etc. So many, and offers them to the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, your teachers of 10 directions, And during the offering, visualize all the Buddhas and bodhisattvas, and that all sentient beings are, purified of their obscurations. As many of these kind of offerings as you can mentally manage should be, amazing, and then offered by reciting 7-line supplication to the Guru Rinpoche, or recite his mantra, or recite the 7 branch offerings again. Okay? And with correct visualization.
Can you repeat that, Khenpo? I lost. Once we do the offerings, we then do what?
What?
Once we do these
offerings, and then you visualize, lots of rays from your heart, and then the tip of the rays, you visualize all good things to the Buddhas, bodhisattvas, and for what for? Purify, all the obscurations, purify all living beings, not only yourself. If you do this, you are practicing with bodhicitta. Offering practice within bodhicitta, with bodhicitta. You have to memorize the 7-line prayers, of course, and also you have to memorize 7 branch offerings. That's not difficult for you, is it? No. I memorize when I practice hundreds of thousands texts, pages, not text, pages. There is a rule in my monastery. I did, what do you call it? Chanting leader. What do you call it? Leader chant, chant leader for 3, monastery for 3 years. And then I did also in school, 2 years. And there is a rule in monastery. Whole day we have, recite these rituals. You can't look text. You can't use. You have to memorize them, because you use the drums and these things, so many things, and mudras. All you can't, use all these things together. So there is a rule, you have to. Otherwise, But I make rules for you. Memorize the 7-line prayers. Okay? Memorize the Padmasambhava's mantra, not difficult. And memorize the 7 branch offering, at least. And if you can, then memorize whole preliminary text. But that's okay, but that's not necessary. But memorize really the 7 branch offerings. Then you have a kind of, you have a prayer whenever you go, whenever somebody always, somebody's sick or somebody's difficult, what should I do? You should say this, 7-line prayers and 7 branch offerings, and think about Buddhas, bodhisattvas helping this person. That's all. So, now,
Khenpo, I'm sorry. There's 7 branches. Is that the first ones here? Or do you want the?
Yes, that one.
Not the rest. The supplication or the.
No, there's 7 branch there. Just the 7
lines.
lines.
Okay.
Yeah, 7 branches, which is the offerings and presentation, dedication, joy, rejoice, all these things. We have a little bit of time. Now we should practice Guru Yoga. But whenever you notice that your mind has wandered away, when you meditate, bring it back to the object of meditation. It's very important. because the more often you sort of notice that you have been distracted, the more your mindfulness is, sort of progressing. When we start to practice, it is important to distinguish fundamental from sort of less significant mystics, okay? For example, if we do not know how to pronounce the mantra, how to pronounce the seven-line prayers, if you recite in Tibetan, all these are not sort of also when you visualize the deities, or all this the colors, or all of this visualization, these are not really correctly, you can't, that's not the fundamental sort of mystics, okay? That's you can learn it slowly. That's just, you don't need to worry, that's fine. But the principle and intention of our practice are more important than the details of sound or visions or colors, But misunderstanding the pure state of mind is the fundamental mystics. The pure state of mind is the essence of Buddhist teaching. And it is also very necessary to have intellectual understanding first, right? But that is not enough itself. We have to feel as well as understand everything perfectly again, and then put it into practice. These two things very important. First, understand intellectually, and then put them into your practice. Through this practice, you will sort of accumulate merit and overcome your sort of behavioral craving for everything. When all attachment are liberated into the, primordial wisdom, mind, the nature, and that is we call supreme offering. Understand? That is so important. So you don't, sometimes people worry that visualizations, especially in Vajrayana tradition, there are so many visualizations, people are kind of very difficult as not familiar, and especially in your culture. So it's sometimes people worry, but I don't think that's not big deal. Most important is sort of, pure and correct motivation, really correct motivation. And that means what? Correct motivation means whatever you practice, don't forget with bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is really like salt. Actually more important than salt. Some food you can eat without salt, right? But there is no practice meditation without bodhicitta in Buddhism. If you do that without bodhicitta, you are not on the right path. Let you know that. Now, seven-line supplication 7 times this time, and Bhajan Guru mantra 108 times this time. And then also here the imaho in a self-manifestorium of this visualization all here. And then we have a 7-line supplication. We all understand that. We all already talk about that things. And then the whole with infinite bodies. This the 7 branch offerings. We already done first and second. And then I will explain the others later. And then we have another prayer. And usually I would say this, I call the empowerments, the from the three syllable in the Guru's three place. This is empowerment, meditation, or what do you call it, visualization or prayer or whatever. And then we say the mantra. So while we're saying mantra and supplication, you need to focus on the receiving the blessings from the lineages, and then also focus on purify your negative karma in the all living beings, right? You have to remember that all living beings practicing within us, with us, and practice Guru Yoga with us. So you visualize that. Center, in front of center Pamasambhava, surrounded him entire lineages. Ground there you, and around you all living beings. That's the subject and object. You visualize your kind of subject. What you visualize, the lineages and also living beings, all this object, your meditation. So that's bodhicitta, practice Guru Yoga, practice bodhicitta. And then while you're saying the mantras, you receiving these blessings, three empowerments, and then you receive that, right? And then as soon as you receive the lights of the Ahong, if you know, you then purify it, right? All living beings purified. That's you have to focus on. And then when we're done, and then we just relax, right? At that time, the visualization, the dissolution, what do you call it? Dissolution, yeah, am I right? Dissolution. Dissolving into each other and into emptiness and into, all these things. That's the kind of, how we practice Guru Yoga, okay? Understand? In the vast realm of infinite purity, I find myself visualized as a Vajra Yogini. On my crown sits 1,000-petaled lotus and sun and moon, and Odiyana Vajradhara, union of all sources of refuge. He is white, tinged red, with peaceful smell, Vajra skull cup and vase. Wears Sambhogakaya ornaments and is embarrassed Yoshi and Chorja. Self-arising mandalas or bantas are present in this form. Root and lineage gurus, dakinis, and surrounding him like a pot of seed spelled open. From Chamra content come their wisdom competence. Fall like rain, they dissolve into the visualized spore. Northwest, the land of Odayana, the center of lotus flower, is the wondrous city. The renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast ratin of Daginis, following in your footsteps, I pray. Please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Pama Sede Hong. Hong, in the northwest, the land of Odiyana, the center of bloom lotus flower, is the one with supreme wondrous city. The renowned lotus-born Bam, surrounded by vast retinue of Daginis. Following in your footsteps, I pray. Please come and bestow your blessings, Guru Pama Siddhi. Hong, in the northwest, the land of Odiyana, the center of blooming lotus flower, is the one with supreme wondrous city. The renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast retinue of Daginis. Following in your footsteps, I pray. Please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Pama Siddhi Hong. Hong, in the northwest, the land of Odiyana, the center of blooming lotus flower, is the one with supreme wonder Siddhi, the renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast retinue of dragoneers. Following in your footsteps, I pray, please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Brahma Siddhi Hong. Hong in the northwest land of Odiyana, center of blooming lotus flower, is the one with supreme wonder Siddhi, the renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast retinue of dragoneers. Following in your footsteps, I pray, please come and bestow your blessings. Rupama Siddhi Hong. Hong in the northwest of the land of Odiyana, in the center of blooming lotus flower, is the one with supreme wonder Siddhi, the renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast retinue of dragoneers. Following in your footsteps, I pray, please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Brahma Siddhi Hong. Hong in the northwest of land of Odiyana, in the center of blooming lotus flower, is the one with supreme wonder Siddhi, the renowned lotus-born Pammakara, surrounded by vast retinue of dragoneers. Following in your footsteps, I pray, please come and bestow your blessings. Guru Brahma Siddhi Hong. Infinite bodies, I bow down, prostrating respectfully and offer a Samandabhata appearance, existence, the manifest ground. Airy meets the ground for, I know, confess. Rejoicing in all the virtues throughout samsara and nirvana. May you remain as Vajrakaya as long as beings and realms exist. I beseech you to turn the well of the profound and vast Dharma, as I dedicate this whole host of virtues to the attainment of Buddhahood, and many ties in forests of the northern land of Odiyana, dwells in emanation of Jagata, body, speech, and mind, come to the continent Jambu for the welfare of being, surrounded by a multitude of Vyadharas and Dakinis. I supplicate the divine assembly of Pammakara. I supplicate you, Pammakara, Guru of Odiyana. Please grant me your blessings and empowerments. Syllables in the Guru's three places. There are lights radiant, white, red, and dark blue, dissolving into my three places, blessing me as they do. The Guru and his retinue then dissolve into light, traveling the path of Brahman and melting into the core of my heart. The enlightened mind of the Guru and my own indivisible. I settle into the innate nature of the Dharmakaya mind, cleansing the four obscurations and achieving the four empowerments of wisdom. All blessings and empowerments are attained. The four paths are mastered, four kayas actualized. Ma hong ban jian guru Brahma Siddhi hong. Om ahom ban guru Brahma Siddhi hong. Om ahom ban guru Brahma Siddhi hong.
Om Ahum Vajra Guru
Banzan Guru Pamas De Hong Om Ahoy Banzan Guru Pamas De Hong Om Ahom Banzan Guru Pamas De Hong Om Ahom Banzan Guru Pamas De Hong Om Ahom Banzan Guru Pamas De Hong